October 24th, 2025. So I just jumped in a speculative stock on my small account. On my small account, I generally like to leave anywhere from 1 to 5% for speculative plays. These are plays that have the potential to go back to zero, and I'm not going to hold them for more than a few days. But if they skyrocket, I'll cover my initial investment and just see where things go. And so my positioning on my small account, which is just over $100, my entire account, I have 5 shares with an average just under 1.29 as of today. And if it goes down a little bit more, it's not the end of the world. On my big account, I have much more at an average of 1.3. How did I find this stock? Well, it started with my scanner. So here in TradingView, I have a scanner that I look for high relative volume. And in this case, Strive showed up. Now, it doesn't seem that interesting, and one of the reasons why it's not a long-term hold for me is analyst rating is neutral here. You really want, if it's going to be a buy and hold, I really want a strong buy or a buy. And this is a 1.1. This is a penny stock essentially. So that wasn't enough for me to go in. Next, we have to see, is there news? So the scanner shows something interesting after hours, but now let's check Google Trends. And just compared to Beyond, like this is so far not a Beyond, but Beyond sort of started off small and then it sort of grew like crazy. And here I'm just comparing various stocks that showed up on my scanner, and I included Beyond since that was the most recent runner. Now, if we zoom in the past, let's say the past day, then it starts to tell a more interesting story. You can see this blue line, that's ASST stock, and you can tell there's interest. It's not a ton, but it's something. And especially compared to the other stocks that are in my scanner, like J and USBC, there's certainly a lot more consistent traffic. And so that makes me intrigued even more. So we got the scanner showing high relative volume after hours, and then we got some news. We got people searching it on Google Trends. And now, in terms of news, I asked ChatGPT here, is there recent news on ASST? And yes, there's, of course, high relative volume. We know that already. But what did they do? They're switching to a Bitcoin per share company. That's huge, actually. Um, the reason why that's huge is there's another company that did that. MSTR, here's their chart right here. They started doing something very similar where they're holding tons and tons of Bitcoin. They're one of the largest holders now, and their stock sort of went crazy as Bitcoin went crazy. Of course, as Bitcoin goes down, their stock goes significantly down as well. So this is not, in my opinion, this is not a hold company, not a buy and hold company, but it's a nice speculative, we'll see what happens. So let's look at the chart. That's really all that matters. Wow, yeah, came off some crazy recent highs. And if we zoom in here, to be honest, I don't even care what this stock does. If the chart shows that it looks like a positive buy signal, then I'm going to go in on it. And the first thing I'm looking at here, this is relative volume, called relative volume density. So relative time slice volume is the indicator on TradingView. And all I'm looking for spikes like this and spikes like this. And, last time it ran up, I'm sure there are similar spikes surrounding the leap upwards. And so I do actually have that confirmation here. You can see in this candle right here, we have 6 million shares traded on that down red candle. But then the next candle's 2 million, then 4 million, and it didn't even move. This tells me that is 100% accumulation. So someone was accumulating in this range. Now, the only thing to know about that is that accumulation. That means a big player, or with how many meme stocks are running these days, maybe it's just retail. But in any case, someone's acquiring shares en masse. That's what this high relative volume tells me, and the fact that the candles were barely moving. That's 100% something I want to jump in on. I wish I would have caught it back here, but I wasn't trading too much yesterday, and it probably would have only showed up on my scanner if I checked the day after this spike downward when there's super high relative volume. So to me, that's accumulation that happened, um, a week ago, in fact. So now, what's going to happen? So, okay, I'm in this trade. Of course, I could be wrong. That could just be distribution. But, I feel like I'm right 9 times out of 10 with this strategy. And, oh, look, I just bought more shares of ASST. Good. So, what can we expect? Well, the first thing I'm going to do when I see something I've confirmed, I want to go in on the trade. I'm going to swing it till Monday, and I'm going to be up at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time just to watch this thing take off. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have levels here. At every big short, I'm going to have a small level here. I'll have a small level up here. I'm just looking for the spikes downward. That's really what I'm looking for. Whether it's after hours or during market hours, I don't care. And here's another spike downward. And those are all the levels I care about right now. I mean, I will probably, oh my gosh, I don't think we're going to make it to 11. That's pretty up there. Maybe we could make it to 5 if we're lucky. Now let me see if there are other smaller levels. Like maybe this is a level right here that might create a resistance. You see how it kind of couldn't quite breach that. And then of course each of the EMAs will provide a small resistance. And then I'll put a line as well at each of the whole numbers. Yeah, this one is actually at 2 already. And then we'll have a minor level at 2.5. We'll have another minor level at 3. The whole numbers always provide a little resistance. And then really the half numbers don't matter as much if the volume really goes crazy. So then 4.5, I'll do 3.5 here. Close enough. And then 4.5. And so what I'll be watching for, I'll be taking, let's say, my original investment out, I will probably take in the $2 range. So, I don't think I have $2 marked. Yep, yeah, so $2 right about here. I'll make sure to take out enough to cover my initial investment, and then at each level, I'll just take out a small number of shares. So when it does tank eventually, and I think it will, I don't know if it's going to be beyond level crazy or what, but when it does tank, then I know I have nothing to worry about. It's all gains, and you can't complain about profit. So we'll see how Monday goes. If I'm wrong, not the end of the world. I'm not going crazy. I only leave a small portion of my account for speculative things like this. The rest is for more longer term, like leaps and shares. But if I'm right, the upside, it has the potential to, gosh, I don't know, maybe go up to $5 if we're lucky. And how do I know what it's going to do and when to exit? Like I said, I'll be watching the levels. Once you hit levels, I'll be getting out, and then I'll be watching the volume as well. We really want to see the volume go up, 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 and this is the relative volume density again. And then when I start seeing it waver and plateau, that's my indication that it's losing steam, and I'll start cutting more aggressively. So that's my plan. Fingers crossed for Monday.